The rain-soaked streets of 1970s America glowed beneath flickering neon signs, while women hurried through crowded department stores, carrying secret little rituals hidden inside oversized handbags. Rituals that today feel almost unbelievable, because long before beauty influences and fast fashion trends took over every screen, women in the 1970s followed an entirely different set of fashion tricks, designed not just to look glamorous, but to survive social pressure, attract attention, hide insecurities, and quietly compete in a world obsessed with appearance in ways most people today no longer understand. And what makes it even stranger is how quickly these once normal habits disappeared, almost without a trace, leaving behind only faded magazine pages, dusty vanity tables, and forgotten memories trapped inside old family photographs. But tonight, we are reopening those beauty cabinets and stepping back into a decade filled with dangerous hairsprays, mysterious beauty routines, impossible fashion standards, and style secrets women rarely talk about anymore, because some of these tricks were surprisingly brilliant, while others were genuinely shocking. And as we count down from number 20 to number 1, you may start seeing modern fashion very differently. So before we disappear completely into this lost world of disco lights, smoky mirrors, and velvet dresses, take a moment to subscribe, because these forgotten stories vanish a little more every year, and there's something strangely haunting about remembering the details history tried to leave behind. Number 20. Women secretly sprayed perfume behind their knees, because many believed body heat in hidden places made the scent last longer during long nights at discos and cocktail lounges, and in crowded dance halls where cigarette smoke filled the air and air conditioning barely worked. This tiny trick became almost legendary among fashionable women trying to remain unforgettable until sunrise. But eventually, modern perfumes became stronger, and synthetic formulas changed everything, making these delicate little rituals slowly disappear. Number 19. Pantyhose were often stored in freezers overnight because women believed cold temperatures made the fragile nylon less likely to tear before important events. And few people today realize just how expensive and precious stockings once felt to working women trying to maintain a polished appearance every single day, especially in offices where professionalism and femininity were judged harshly. But cheaper materials and changing workplace culture eventually killed this strange freezer ritual forever. Number 18. Women used clear nail polish on runs in stockings to stop them from spreading instantly. And inside dim office bathrooms across America, this emergency trick saved countless evenings, dates, and business meetings from embarrassment. But what happened next shocked many women, because as casual fashion slowly replaced strict elegance during the late 1970s and early 1980s, younger generations stopped caring about perfect stockings entirely, and one of the decade's most iconic survival tricks quietly vanished. Number 17. Many women placed rolled socks or tissue paper inside bras to create the dramatic silhouettes popularized by television stars and magazine covers, because the fashion industry during the disco era pushed exaggerated body shapes long before cosmetic surgery became mainstream. But few people today even remember how much anxiety ordinary women carried trying to imitate impossible beauty standards without expensive products or procedures. Number 16. Women sprayed clouds of hairspray into the air and literally walked through them before parties, coating themselves in a chemical mist that promised glamorous volume and long-lasting curls under disco lights. And the scent of aerosol became almost symbolic of the decade itself, filling bathrooms, beauty salons, and dressing rooms across suburban America. But years later, growing fears about health risks, environmental damage, and changing hairstyles transformed this once normal habit into something almost surreal to younger generations. Number 15. Fashionable women ironed their hair using actual clothing irons before modern straighteners existed, carefully laying their hair across ironing boards while praying they wouldn't burn themselves moments before dates or concerts, because sleek, shiny hair became a symbol of effortless sophistication during the late 1970s. Yet behind that polished look was often pain, stress, and the constant fear of ruining everything in seconds. And today it feels almost unbelievable that beauty once required such dangerous improvisation. Number 14. Women carried tiny emergency sewing kits everywhere because ripped seams, loose buttons, and broken zippers could completely destroy social appearances during an era when looking put together mattered intensely, especially at work or formal gatherings. And inside handbags you could often find needles, safety pins, thread, and tiny scissors hidden beside lipstick and compact mirrors. But fast fashion eventually made clothing feel disposable rather than precious, and those little sewing kits slowly disappeared from everyday life. Number 13. Some women darkened their legs with makeup or coffee mixtures when they couldn't afford stockings, creating the illusion of smooth, flawless legs under dim restaurant lighting. And while it sounds glamorous now, many women remember the panic of rainstorms, sweat or accidental smudges exposing the secret, reminding us how deeply appearance pressures shaped everyday life in the decade of disco glamour and suburban perfection. Number 12. Women often slept with gigantic rollers in their hair wrapped tightly beneath scarves overnight, sacrificing comfort for the promise of perfect morning volume, and countless mothers across America woke before sunrise to remove curlers while children still slept nearby, creating beauty routines that felt almost military in discipline. But that wasn't the strangest part, because many women also avoided moving too much during sleep to protect carefully prepared hairstyles that took hours to create. Number 11. Beauty salons became emotional social sanctuaries where women exchanged secrets, gossip, heartbreak stories, and fashion advice beneath giant hooded hairdryers. And for many women, the salon wasn't simply about beauty at all. It was one of the few places where they could escape loneliness, expectations, or exhausting routines. But modern fast-paced lifestyles and digital culture slowly transformed these deeply personal beauty communities into something far less intimate. Number 10. Women lined their waterlines with heavy black eyeliner inspired by rock stars and Hollywood icons, creating smoky, dramatic eyes that looked mesmerizing under nightclub lights, but often caused irritation and infections due to harsh formulas. And although today's makeup is safer and more advanced, there was something raw and rebellious about the imperfect glamour women created during those years that modern filtered beauty sometimes struggles to capture. Number 9. Scarves tied around hair became essential fashion armor during windy convertible rides, rainy shopping trips, and late-night drives through glowing city streets, turning ordinary women into cinematic figures straight from old magazine advertisements. But as hairstyles changed and car culture evolved, these glamorous scarf rituals slowly faded from everyday American life. Number 8. Women used baby oil mixed with iodine for deep tanning because bronzed skin became associated with luxury vacations, freedom, and youthful beauty during the 1970s, even though many had no idea how dangerous these homemade tanning methods truly were. And countless afternoons were spent beside motel pools and suburban backyards, chasing golden skin beneath burning summer suns, creating memories that now feel both nostalgic